Boy, what a story that would have been. Anyway, get your VCRs rolling. This is the final installment until next summer, or shall we say later this fall. Matt and the Maven. Matt and Doc Emrick, along with the hockey Maven, Stan Fischler.
And Bill, make nothing out of our position here. Doc is not here to referee Stan and I in the final.
Don't be too sure.
But it might turn out that way. Stan, we're smiling and you're not. You were not. Let's be honest. You were not happy at all tonight, and quite frankly, you were not happy throughout the playoffs with this Devils performance.
Well, there was something intrinsically wrong with the team, and it came out with some comments in the locker room. Bobby Halik had all to do to withhold what he really wanted to say about the team, about what was wrong with the team. He said, "I'm too emotional now. I'll need a few days." But Turner Stevenson specifically said that there were times when the team took it easy, not just during the playoffs, but during the season. And, you know, it was just very difficult to understand how this happened, and I just attribute it to the marathon.
All right, what we're going to do is just having some technical problems. Doc, if you could just hand the microphone to Stan for a moment. In fact, you guys can share it, so we'll put that one to rest. We heard in the distance the comments that you were making. We did hear Turner Stevenson live with your, or the tape comments that Turner made with you. Doc also talked about it, the fact that there are some decisions that have to be made in the offseason. There are some questions, not so much about Hart per se, but why there were those lapses on a team that was the defending Stanley Cup champs.
Well, you have to go to Hart. The Hart was not there in critical situations, no matter how you cut this thing. And you got to look at certain players. I mean, Alexander McGillney, he's not going to get anything near that he may think he's going to get. I mean, I talked to Mike Milbury. Mike Milbury said he's not worth a $3 million contract. So if Alexander McGillney thinks he's coming back to New Jersey, he's got to be a lot more reasonable. And anybody takes him has to look at what he did when it counted. Not much.
All right, are you placing all the blame on Alexander, or are there other?
Well, you didn't give me a chance. I mean, I just started with McGillney. You got to look at several, you know, up and down the A-line. Jason Arnott. I mean, where was he? You have to question Larry Robinson whether he was right in his decision in taking Jimmy McKenzie out of the lineup and putting Arnott back after they had won with that winning lineup. Why did he do that?
Well, to their defense, though, the A-line was the best line for the Devils tonight. Doc, what's your take on some of the changes that may take place in the offseason?
Well, we would assume Mogilny. We would also make an assumption on Sean O'Donnell because his contract is up. John Van Beesbrook has retired effective tonight. We have that as well. And I think that they're going to have to examine, and Stan was mentioning some names, going to have to examine why this was so hard. Why that you had to continually put the spurs to what was a very good horse so many times during the year just to get it up to speed. I think that's the thing that's perplexing. I think it perplexed Larry Robinson and Lou Lamoriello. We called them a very mercurial, up and down like the thermometer, and we called them a very mysterious team. Yet they got to the 7th game of the Stanley Cup Finals. But do you keep a team like that together that was this difficult to get this far? No. Toronto should not have gone as far. Carolina should not have gone as far. I would say that any other coach than Larry Robinson might have had trouble beating Toronto, especially when Toronto went ahead 3-2 to win 2 must games. And these are 2 of the times that they went to the wall. I was amazed with the job that Larry did in that. With all of these things that he was taught about discipline when he played for Montreal, it became such a difficult thing to get his team to do when they did well at that a year ago, and it was largely the same cast.
All right, Stan, if you're Lou Lamoriello, we're going to make you GM of the team. You talked about some of the questions that have to be answered. How about changes?
Well, I don't have any doubt in my mind that Lou is going to make trades if he can make the trades. And obviously he's going to get equivalent value, or he's going to try to get more value than what he got. I thought Turner Stevenson was a terrific acquisition. Sean O'Donnell, very iffy. Very iffy. O'Donnell told me that he wants to come back. I see Kenny Sutton coming back faster than Sean O'Donnell. Of course, they got guys coming up. You have to look at Jason Arnott. Does he want Jason Arnott on this team if Jason is only going to be a mercurial player. I mean, we didn't see Arnott as a decisive force. The last time Arnott was a decisive force was when he got that power play goal way back early in the series. That's not good.
Well, that is why there is so much frustration on the part of the New Jersey Devils. It appeared that all the pieces were in place for another championship, and it turns out it's Colorado that is the champion. Stan, it was a great year. You made the time go by quickly. I've appreciated our repartee, and Doc, of course, always a pleasure listening to you, the best in the business.
Thank you so much, and it was we appreciated the fan support that the Devils fans gave us just face-to-face by talking to us during the year. The team was exciting. The team was wonderful. It didn't turn out the way that the fans would want it to. I think those of us who are asked to be impartial, or at least fairly impartial during the year, find it at a time like this emotionally to be as hard as it was as gratifying last year at this very same time. You put your heart on the line when you follow a bunch of guys around all season long. Even though you are to keep your distance, it's hard to divorce yourself from that. So we all need to distance ourselves as time passes, and the good thing is that we have another year ahead, and it's not very long until that year gets started. Thank you all.
I think we also should point out that this team, in spite of the marathon, in spite of the tremendous physical and psychological pressure, they did a lot of tremendous things. And with all the flaws that we talked about, they got right down to Game 7. Maybe a break or two. Could have been the other way.
Well, that's why I said earlier tonight, no disgrace in the way it wound up, although the Devils certainly will jet back to New Jersey disappointed in the fact that they are not the Stanley Cup champions. A special thanks, and I'll make this quick, Larry Gaines and James Higgins, our director Joe O'Rourke, and as I've mentioned throughout, the big dog Roland Dratch, our producer all year long, important parts of our team. Bill, back to you, and another important part of our team, the King, Chico Resch.
The King, huh? Thanks, Matty. You guys have a safe trip home.